G'day everybody, how's it going? Seano here. Thought, I know it's only Tuesday night, but I thought we would jump on because of all this injury carnage, and let's have a bit of a chat about what you're going to do, what I'm going to do. I have to admit I'm reasonably lucky, but maybe there's some people out there in the community who want a little bit of help on what to do. As we can see from the thumbnail there, Finn Callahan is out. TDK is, well, he might be back. He may be back. McRae, though, is out. And Horn Francis is out. So that's big news. Big, terrible news. So let's jump away from that. Alright, so should we actually have a look at the injury list? Is it out? That's not the injury list. Can't have the injury list in dark mode. Just going to make my face look extra bright. It does look my face extra bright from the screen. So yes, we're going to be a little bit washed out for a minute here. Surprising that this doesn't work for me. We get it there. On please. Nope, doesn't like it. Alright, so let's have a look at who are the big names. Crouch still out, so pretty good there. Adelaide is doing pretty well. No one to really worry about. For Brisbane, Ruckman looks like they'll be back potentially this week. Look, Carlton's got 1 million people out. So, DeConing tests. So, DeConing, Akers, and Fogarty will all undergo fitness tests later this week. There's a good chance he plays, but we already traded him out. So, if you're keeping him, I don't know, you might as well. If you've already kept him for 1 week, I don't know, if he plays this week, obviously you're still keeping him. If he's out this week, you have to think about it. DeGoey, Dan Houston's test. Lucky Schultz. Big controversy, umpire controversy this week. Umpires are liars. Liars! I tell them liars. Okay, what do we got? Not much going on here. Darcy Parish is also on track for a comeback. Scares me about some of our Essendon rookies that we have. List for the injury list for Freo is growing. O'Driscoll is still a test. It's been a test for a few weeks. Hayden Young, 8 to 10 weeks. Geelong, nobody there that's really Supercoach relevant. Nivet, maybe Mitch Nivet is back. No one there really Supercoach relevant. Finn Callahan, shoulder, 4 to 6 weeks. So if you got him, it's a trade. 4 to 6 weeks. I sold him. It seems to be the case of everyone who I sold off early, which I wasn't happy about, seems to be getting injured. So now we had Horny Man go down, and now we've had Finn Callahan go down. At least a month. So at least a month, you gotta get rid of him. No one from Hawthorn that's Supercoach relevant. No one from Melbourne. No one from North Melbourne. Jason Horn Francis, 4 weeks they've got it. Is this of today? Update the 20th of May. So this is as today, they're saying 4 weeks. So that's quite a long time. That's pretty, even with his bye, 4 weeks from now is still around 11, 12, 13, 14. You wouldn't see him to around 15. So seriously have to consider trading there as well. Anything going on here at Richmond? Not really. Lynch is back in a couple of weeks, which might affect that new Richmond rookie if you were thinking about getting him. And where's McRae? Where's McRae? We know McRae's injured. Oh, there we go, Jack McRae. Lung, 2 to 3 weeks. Lung, hey? Do you just come back from a lung and then feel fine after getting a punctured lung? Is that how it works? You just come back and you're like, hey, I'm good. He isn't expected to be available until after St Kilda bye, which is when? I think I've got a few players on that bye. Is that round 15? Nope. Round 14. Oh no, it's the one with Freo. So not expected to see them before round 13 or round 14, to be honest. So again, that's rounds 11, 12, 13, 14, 4 rounds with him out, not 14 with him out. That wouldn't make sense. Again, that's a worry. So everyone seems to be at that. Ooh, the big focus this week will be on skipper Callum Mills, who picked up 20 disposals and a goal and a half in one half of VFL last Friday. The sub-vest could be option. Fuck off with the sub-vest. We won't be... God, imagine if we went early on him. I mean, if he's called into the team, I could see a few people maybe doing that. You know, would you really make him the sub? Surely you screw over the young Sheldrick again and make him the sub. You've screwed him every other time. Why not screw him this time? Okay. So there is carnage everywhere. I'm lucky that I've avoided a lot of this carnage. We already sold Jason All-Fancis a while ago. We got rid of TDK for Sherry this week. And Finn Callahan, we sold him right before he started to do well. So I'm not too bad, but we thought we would jump on and see how you guys are going. What am I going to do with McRae? So he's at 517 at the moment. I think break even 150. I mean, I think we just trade him for me, and then what are we going to do is the big question, hey? Then what do we do? So do we move Warner here? Do we go a mid? So I did have a sneaky plan. So the sneaky plan, what was the sneaky plan? I've forgotten my own sneaky plan. I think, was the sneaky plan something like this? Go Shea Bolton, make 93k. Now we know that Shea Bolton had that 5, but we've seen he can get regularly good scores, and he's super cheap at 430. So if we were to complete this trade, and then maybe I've got enough now with this 90k, maybe this is a chance for me to move up in the ranks. Why other people are getting hit by this injury, and like if you've got all Finn Callahan, if you've got all 3, right? Imagine if you held on to TDK. So you've held TDK, and you've got, sorry about that, should be like that. So you've held TDK, and now you've got McRae, Finn, and who's the other one? McRae, Finn, and Horny Man and the Horn Francis. Imagine if you got all of those 3 guys, all 4 of them out. That's 4 primos out in your team in 2 weeks. If you're lucky, TDK will come back. Tom De Koning into your ruck if you've held him. That might help you out a little bit. But otherwise, you got 3 moves. And I think some people will not want to use a boost. Some people won't have a boost. Some people will, want to get them off the field like me. So I was thinking maybe if we went Bolton, I mean, we keep him down there. How much money do we have in the bank now? For 93k, I think we can still do the move we thought about doing earlier. This might actually work out to our benefit, just because we were thinking about getting a shit rookie like Wicks to do this. But with McRae out, maybe we don't have to go on Wicks. And I got a feeling that Wicks, one, he's not going to make very much money because he's got like a ceiling of about 40. See, I can afford, I mean, we can have a look and say players I can afford. There's not going to be much there really, but the one that does stand out to me is Rao. We were thinking about Rao anyway, just because we thought we might try and get a primo up, you know, off a rookie off the field and a primo up. Let's complete this trade and see if we like this or not. With the lack of decent rookies around this week, for me, I think this is a fair trade. But, you know, if you got all those other problems, I'm lucky that I can just get rid of, I kind of get rid of McRae and I get 2 potential premiums. Potential roller coaster rides? Sure. But, you know, hopefully they're a good roller coaster. A roller coaster that you like. Let's have a look. We know we've had a look before. So Shea, he's gone 57, 94, 87, 89, 115, 102, 5, 114, 150. So you're kind of looking, hopefully not a 5 floor, kind of looking at like an 80 floor. And Rao, well, the roller coaster ride over here, 137, 136, 74, 124, 130, 69, 53, 80, and then a 124. I'm hoping this little run here is going to start again here. So if that happens, I'll be very happy. If he keeps smashing at 75s, I won't be. But for me, this might be a chance to catch up to some of these people. If you've got 3 primos or 4 primos that are injured, you have to do something about that, where I've really just got the one. Maybe I can get an extra primo on the field for the next couple of weeks. I wonder how's my opponent in my leagues. You know, my leagues are very important to me. So Lazy Bones predicted the beating by quite a bit. Let's see, he's got Finn Callahan, he's got Jason Horne-Francis, and he's got McRae. And does he have the quadruple factor? Does he have the quarter, whatever you call the 4? Not the triple factor. He doesn't have, he must have got rid of TDK or not have him because he's not on the bench. He's got Marshall, the same as me. So he's still got 3 problems. I was already predicted to beat him. I mean, again, if I just wanted to concentrate on leagues, I don't really have to trade this week. He's got disasters everywhere. So I could literally not trade, still win this league match and hold 2 trades. So again, I think this was the option we were talking about before, right? No trades, or in this case, I'm getting out 1 premium and out 1 rookie, 1 playing rookie for another, well, semi-premium. Again, I'm going to call them both premiums. I'm getting them as keepers. Bolton might go up money, so maybe we could jump him across to someone else if we wanted to. If he gets 100, he'll go up 48k. So, you know, if he got a couple of hundreds in a row, he might go up like 70k or something. He might get to 500. Then maybe the horny man's back and he goes down or something like that. We jump on him. We've been very lucky with until now with injuries so far. I mean, you guys tell me. I can't really think of too many of my premiums. I can't think of any premiums that who I've got in, I've had to trade them out because they've got injured. And usually that happens every year. And quite often, I think last year, and maybe even the year before, I ran very low on trades because after the buys we had a lot of injuries. So we've all been trading our asses off for the last, 10 weeks, boosting and, doing this and that. We haven't really had to deal with injuries. And now all these injuries are coming for once, and they're all that difficult time period of 3 to 4 weeks. So, and they're through the buys. So, I mean, sometimes you can kind of afford to live through the buys with an injury as long as you've got enough players to cover. So that's very interesting. We can not trade, we can probably win our league, and we can hold a couple of, we hold 2 trades, or we go this way and we try and increase our overall score and try and run down that top team. We know we're not going to get first, but this might help us get into the top 1,000. What other options do we have, crew? So you let me know if you're out there watching. Who are you got out of the four injuries? Now, who do you need to get replaced, and what are you thinking about doing? If let's have a kind of look for. Oh, let's go back to that. We'll go back to players. Who is available for the McRae? If you had the straight swap, good thing is McRae's like mid forward, right? With your DPPs, you might be able to get whoever you want. So, what are we selling for? We sold him for 530. Is that what he's worth? McRae's worth 517. So, if you're dropping McRae, and I don't know, anyone out there had a punctured lung? Know anyone had a punctured lung? Can you come back and run your guts out for an entire match with a punctured lung? With a recovery after 3 or 4 weeks, or does it take a while to get your breath back? As they say, I assume that it's not very comfortable to come back even after 3 or 4 weeks and run around with a punctured lung, and then have people bang into you and stuff. Doesn't sound like much fun. So, out of the injuries, what happens with a hammy? Hammy he's going to be sore. He'll come back again. He might not be at his peak. He might not be able to run his guts out. He's not a run or day type of character. Horn Francis, he's more of a what do they call it, an impact player, so maybe it doesn't affect him as much. And what was the other injury? Finn's out for quite some time. What was the GWS, there we go. Finn, 4 to 6 weeks. So I think he's a must trade. He's the must trade out of the 2 of them. And yeah, thanks for joining me if you're out there. I thought I'd just jump on and have a chat and see if there's anybody out there who wants to have a bit of a gas bag about what they're doing with all these dramas and stuff going on. Yeah, we feel like, I don't know, crew, I don't know, I'm tempted just to bank the 2 trades. Then I've got those 2 trades later on if there's a disaster, like some more injuries. Then maybe we can do a little stockpile. But this week definitely gets me like 2,486 predicted this week. Not that you trust the predictions very much, but it is getting me another gun on the field, even though you might be using the gun, title loosely. Also, Trainer, he was sub last week, right? Is he going to be sub again this week? I mean, I moved heaven and earth to get him on the field, and now he's on the field. I don't like it. What if we didn't get value? We could have pretty much whoever we want. What if we go? Let's have a bit of a play around, crew. If you're out there and you want to have a chat about what your trading issues are, I know a lot of you probably look at my team and saying I'm spoilt. Not only am I doing well, but I don't have a lot of these players. Yes, I've wasted trades getting them out, but say we trade McRae and say we shift Warner forward. 524 we could afford. Any player we like for 524. Max Holmes is still 500. There isn't any rookies that I really want. I've already got Simpson. If you haven't got Simpson, that's another problem too, right? You probably, with all the cash gen that we've got going on, if you don't have Simpson, down here, the Simpsons, you're going to want him. So you might end up with 2 of your guns off the field. Unless you go down to like McRae to a Simpson, which, I mean, if it allows you to get someone else that you really want, I understand. So who could we have? For 524k. Max Holmes is the only one that slightly takes my interest beside Rao at the moment. Do we prefer Rao or Max Holmes? I mean, we could just go straight to Shea Bolton, save the money of the rookies. Save the money. I guess Peatling is, what's his break even now? 71. If you need someone, he's probably, what's the last 3 round average is 107. So, alright, let's do it that way. Last 3 rounds, who's been killing it? Marriage, we got Will Ashcroft, we don't really want. Pendles, no thanks. Mark, no thanks. Will Setterfield, I thought he was a sneaky option at 450. I don't know if I'd be going there now. So Jack Steele at 500. I've rode that roller coaster ride before. Isaac Heaney, I think is a good pick, but you got to take into account the Goulden and the Mills factor. What's going to happen when they come back? It's very unknown. I do like the Max Holmes pick as well. If we did that, we would get 500. But we've already got 2 players. We already got 2 players out. I mean, for the back line. So we already got 2 players. Like, we've got Sinclair and Trainer there, which we can move into the back line. What if we did that? No, we don't want to do that. Means we'd have to play Hewitt if we did this. If we put him back there. Say we just went Rao like we thought we wanted to. I was thinking about, I mean, I don't see any point of going early now on a shit rookie. I just don't see any point of doing that. So, you know, I think you either do the 2 trades. How do we seem to get less than what we thought? Oh, because we didn't get Bolt. What if we do a complete trade here, confirm. Do the straight over. Then we've got, what do we got in the bank? 59k. How did we do that before? Oh, we went to Shea Bolton. We didn't go to Rao, we went to Shea Bolton. That's just should still work, right? What's going on here? What is going on here? Yep, so very interesting crew. It's going to be a very interesting week. The carnage is real. Carnage is real, and since we've all been trading like crazy people, I think it's going to hurt people this week a little bit. They're going to be undecided. You're going to have to get Simpson, I'd say. If you're thinking about trading 2, maybe if you've got lots of boosts, this is the week to use a boost. Maybe. If you're just doing 2, I think you have to get Simpson in as long as he's named. I mean, you need some cash gen somewhere. Got to get some cash gen somewhere, and yeah, and then maybe upgrade whoever you think's going to be out the longest. If you got Finn Callahan, sounds like there's a good chance he's out the longest, but I'd be a bit dubious about Jack McRae coming back after a punctured lung. I did say it was a punctured lung, right? I reckon I have to be a bit dubious about him coming back after that. So we had a quick look. Let's keep on looking for you guys. Who, if you wanted to go straight for a forward, McRae to another forward. I mean, Bailey Smith, you probably got him. Luke Jackson's a bit scary when we don't know how long Sean Darcy's out. Jack McRae, he's still the third highest average out of all the forwards. So we might want him back in. Nick Martin seems like a reasonable pick. Bit of a pod, 6.9%. You don't have Petrarca, I can understand you going there. Another pod would be Matthew Kennedy. Jesse Hogan had a really good year last year, but he's not really doing the same this year. I guess anyone who sold Caleb Daniel probably isn't very happy about that now. You want to keep him now. Excuse me. I apologise if I scared the crap out of anybody with that sneeze, but I think Shai Bolton will be a roller coaster ride, but I think he's a fair option, especially if you're thinking maybe drop McRae for a few weeks, get him in, hopefully he makes you some money, and then potentially get him back. You might make 70k or something out of it and have a live body on the field. I mean, there's not, the way forwards go, there's not too many others out there which I'm really interested in, to be honest. I think your value options are the Peatling and the Bolton, and otherwise your big boy options. I mean, maybe Nick Martin. Any of these first few that if you don't have them, the Bailey Smith, not Luke Jackson, don't go there. Don't go Jack Krause. Rankining, Warner, Martin, Kennedy if you want, but there's lots of people now. Bont's come back into that midfield. There's lots of points to be shared around. Petrarca if you don't have him. I mean, I wouldn't get on Dana. Marriage, I probably won't go there now either. That's it. There's not too much else. But what happens if you could swap? If you had like a Levi Ashcroft and you want to put him in the forward line, and then you could get someone in the midfield. Considering we've got both. They're both DPP, Horny Man and Jack McRae, and you might also have the Finn Callahan. So if you're getting rid of Finn, or you're, freeing up a spot in your midfield, let's see, what kind of value do we have out there? Sorry about banging on the mic. That probably sounded pretty loud to you guys. Dunkley 550. I considered this. If I had the money, I certainly like it. Jack Sinclair at 539. He's still cheaper than what I got him at. Lieber, he's had a great year. I've actually had him the last 2 years, and he's been good, but the injury, there's always that worry about injury. Noah Anderson, I think, is a good pick. I'd like to go there if I could. I think at 8.3%, he's a good pod, and he can be a very good scorer. Ed Richards has been killing it, but again, there's a lot of mouths to feed in that midfield now at the Bulldogs, and Treloar is to come back as well, so hopefully he can keep it up, but who knows. Talk Miller I think is a good pod. Tom Green is nice, also a pod, only 4.1%. Merritt, he's got a massive break even. What is it, 200 or something? 200. That's a break even that starts, a 3-numbered break even that starts with a 2. That's pretty good. So definitely don't go Zach Merritt this week. Maybe the week after, or the week after that if you feel like it. Then where we go down, Nick Dacos is cheap now, so if you want to jump on Nick Dacos, again, not this week, maybe next week or the week after. It's going to be dirt cheap. I paid $5.80 for him too. Jordan Dawson is probably around his value there. Understand if you go there. Sarong, well, he wasn't tagged for a week. Everyone's been screaming for Brayshaw to get tagged. Well, they tagged Brayshaw and Fremantle won. So I think that answers something. Maybe Sarong is the more damaging player outside of Supercoach in reality. So maybe, tagging Sarong is the way to go. Honestly, as a coach, I would think it is. Sarong's the one who's running past the packs and, delivering the ball out and onto the chest of the forwards and stuff while Brayshaw's in there getting it. I would think that, the tagging of Sarong is just a better move. Rose, I'm going to wait to after his round 12 buy. I wouldn't go there. Jordan Clark, still very viable, still very cheap, I would think. So, Wanganeen Malera, he must have a big break even now, 146. Yep, can be very affordable next week or the week after if you want him. Lockie Neal had a bit of a comeback, but still got a big game. He's going to be very affordable next week if you want to go there. So there are options. Like I said, Max Holmes is still very cheap at 500,000. You could, pretty much sell him for the same price as the Horny Man, or Slapper actually make 20k if you're dropping McRae. Like we said, top green, we said Zach Merritt. LDU is cheap at 509 if you think he can get a bit of consistency in his scoring. I do think Matt Rowell is cheap. That's why I'm going there. I'm not going there because I think he's awesome. I'm going there because I think he's very cheap. And the cheap players have kind of worked out for me. I went Marshall and he was cheap and he scored big. So I'm thinking maybe we just go cheap and we hope it works out for us. So yeah, lots of choices there. Zach Butters, we're 206. This is awesome. This is really, really awesome. What does it predict you're going to be at round 13? What does it predict you're going to be at round 13? One more game, then he's by round 13, 570k. If he gets 124, he'll be at 595, and then if he got 180, he'll be at 570. So getting Zach Butters below 600k is an absolute bargain, and I really hope that somehow I will have that money to do that. That's why going a little bit cheaper might work out for me, even though it won't leave me very much money left in the bank. If I do those trades I was talking about, I will have rookies worth quite a bit of money that I could sell. So yeah, it's very interesting, crew, very interesting. What about the last one? So that's pretty much your choices. We've had a look at the choices. Anyone thinking about anyone in particular? Anyone's got any smokies? Anyone? Can anyone help me make my decision? Should I just trade McRae? Do the one trade? Or do we trade McRae? So we can do either way. We can go, I think this way I get two potential big scorers though, which is why I like it. You do this one, and even though, I mean, Ashcroft's been doing well, but if you look at his break even's 86, he might make that, but he might not. Out of all the rookies, some of these other rookies, I don't mind if they lose a little bit of money. I don't want him to lose much money because he's one of my highest prices. So so like this, McRae and Ashcroft out, Bolton and Rao in, cheapy and cheap. What do we want to call them? Cheapo primos, cheapo primo for a rookie and an injured dude. Then we have to, do we risk Trainer being on the field again? Is another question. I mean, we can get him off the field by going like this if we have to, and then instead of here we'd have to field pretty much Hewitt here, and then maybe Simpson down here or something like that. When are the earlier games? Who's going to be the one to have on the field down here, crew? So the earlier games, Essendon's pretty early. Who plays early out of Freo? Freo play earlier than Sydney, and do they both play earlier than Melbourne? Freo do though, so we can do this. If Freo has a good game, we can bring down Henderson and put Henderson on here and get Cooper Simpson's score. Yeah, we're running deep in the mids. Like, we got a rookie off the field, but we put one back on pretty much, just to get Trainer off, just in case Trainer's the sub. Hey, just in case. We get screwed a lot from subs lately, so just in case he's the sub, maybe we get covered that way. I think they've got an earlier game too, right? Richmond have an early game, second of the round. Not that I'll make any difference because I won't be able to get him on the field, I don't think, no matter what I do. So yeah, so my decisions aren't as hard as I'm pretty sure some of you guys and girls out there in the community are. I mean, no one's having much of a chat tonight, so You know, I hope your decisions are nice and easy. I hope you missed some of these injuries. We'll stay on for a bit longer and see if anybody wants to come and say hello and chat a little bit. What else can we have a look at? Let's have a look at the buys. Let's talk about the buys a bit. So round 12. Now we got Cherry in, but we got TDK out, so that made no change to us. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 primos. We're calling him a primo out. So in reality, we should be almost have a full back line, a full midfield if one of these useless bananas here plays. We'll have one in the ruck, and hopefully a full forward line. So that's actually pretty good. I mean, now the fact a lot of people will be trading the horny man might make the year 12. Try the round 12 buy a little bit better. The year 12 buy, yeah, make the year 12 buy better. This is the one with only Freo and St Kilda. So Sinclair out, Brayshaw out, Marshall out, and Bolton out. So getting Bolton in does this, right? So this might be an issue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, because there's no McRae, so it's like for like. So I had 4 before. Bolton for McRae still means that I have 4 out for that round, which I think, considering there's only 2 teams out for that round, is a fair few. I've already looked at my opponent for that round. I checked them out, and I think they only have 3 players out on that round, and that probably includes McRae. So they will have 2 if they sell McRae for someone who isn't Bolton. So there's a good chance I'll lose that match. If I've got 4 primos out and you've got 2, there's a good chance I'll lose that match in my leagues. That would be unfortunate, but that's what happens if we get Bolton in. If we don't get Bolton in, we're down to 3 on that. 1, 2, 3 on that buy. Okay, what about round 14? Only 1 out in the back line. Hopefully Carroll can play for him. 1, 2. If I get Rao, this makes a 3 midfielders out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 1 there. So getting Rao does that, makes this buy a little bit worse, round 14, than what it already was. Who were my other choices? I mean, he's coming in, he could play, but he can't. So it's not too many, but we don't like 3 gun midfielders out. We'll probably put Warner forward for like a Kako, and there's not much coverage there, let's face it. There ain't a lot of coverage there, straight up to there. Also, if Callum Mills came back this week, what round is this? Round 14, 11, 12. It's the week 13, 14. He'll go up in round 13, the week before his bye. If he goes up in price, that means he would have lots of Sydney players. Even though by the time that bye comes around, by the time this bye comes around, he'll be gone. So there'll be somebody else here, hopefully. Roberts he may or may not be still there. Maybe a sneaky trade from like Roberts to Rosie for like 50 or 60k. I don't want to do that, but at that time, if I needed it. Round 15, nothing out of the back line. Hewitt shouldn't be in the team by then. Lindsay shouldn't be in the team by then. Petrarca and Rackety. So this is a good buy. This round 15 buy we don't have to worry about. Round 16 buy. Got a bit of a backline issue here, but full midfield playing for pretty much everything except for the back line, which we can live with. Who knows if Reed is still with us at this stage. Trainer won't be with us, so maybe he's got a playing player there. So I'm thinking the buys, even with these trades, look okay. doesn't change the 301. Let's have another look at this. Like, so game, I think we actually got to go. You got to go by leagues, view league, results and fixtures, round 13. Round 13. Oh, we play Matt. Now, if we have a look at Matt's team, how many Freo and how many St Kilda players does he have? He doesn't have any Freo on the back line. He's got Brayshaw like I do. That's one. He doesn't have Sinclair either. And he's got McRae and he's got Murphy Reed that he'll probably trade out. So, I mean, he's not going to have... He might only have one. He potentially could only have one person out on that buy. I mean, that would be crazy, right? That means that's almost an instantaneous loss. If I've got 4 primos out and you've got one, I'm going to lose that match. So that's rough. That's a bit rough. We almost have to pencil that one in as a loss for the leagues. Ooh, he's had to... Looks like he's had a bit of ruck carnage here. If you need a cheap ruck this week, I'm putting my money behind Wits for value. For value, I'm putting my money behind Wits. Not for overall score or anything, but for straight up value, I think he's very cheap. Let's have a look. What is Mr. Wits? We're all at our wits' end here. Jared Wits. So far this season, he's got 144, 109, 100, 73, 130, 125, and 54, a 77, and 112. He can score right. I mean, I'm saying that he's a valid pick if you need a ruck. You want a value ruck? I think he's a valid pick. You know, at this price, it's the exact same price as I got Marshall for, and I got rewarded. So, you know, I understand. So I'm not very happy about that. I'm almost definitely... I mean, maybe that makes a decision for me. I'm almost definitely going to lose this buy round. My opponent's going to have one. He's going to have Brayshaw out, and I'm going to have Sinclair, Eclair, love myself a chocolate Eclair, Brayshaw, Bolton, and Marshall. So 1, 2, I'll have 3 more primos than he will out on that particular round. So it's going to be very hard to win that round. So maybe chucking another one on doesn't hurt me so bad. Who am I going to play in round 14 then if we did it that way? Leagues. Round 14. We got to go to results and fixtures. Round 14. Who do I play here? Baz's Blue Boys. Alright, so and out on this particular round 14, we've got Sydney's out, Gold Coast is out, Collingwood is out. So he's got Sydney. Bryce may or may not still be there. He's got no Gold Coast players. He doesn't have Dacos. He's got Cleary, he's got Warner like I do. So again, we're kind of up against it. He has got Horn Francis here, which he's going to have to do something about. So again, this guy has less people out than I do. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 primos, and he has 1. What else are we looking for? 2. 2 versus 4. Could be a, you know, my buys are pretty good, but my matchups are a bit crap. This can be a problem with the buys. Maybe the flex position will help a little bit, but sometimes with the buys this can be a bit of a problem that, like, I don't have many people off each buy, but it looks like my opponent has less people off on every buy. Just seems to be the way, right? That, you know, I look like I'm pretty good for the buys, but in my leagues, just the other people just seem to fucking luck box their way into having less people off than me. Anyone else get that issue? So we're okay. I mean, we're okay in the buys. It's not terrible, but it looks like it could be a little bit rough on a week-to-week basis. Yeah, it could be a little bit rough. Anyone we get rid of here? If we did get Shy Bolton in, we just went straight to Rao. Like McRae to Rao or McRae to somebody else. Then we would have one more on this buy. What is it? 12, 11, 12. This is only two rounds away, pretty much. No, 3 rounds away. 3 rounds away. Is there a chance in 3 rounds would be chucking Bolton out? I doubt we'd have Bolton out. I doubt we're doing anything with Marshall. Rachel's definitely not going anywhere, and Sinclair's definitely not going anywhere. So, yeah, so it's a bit like my planning is good, but it doesn't look like my matchups are great. That's a bit unfortunate. That's the first time I've had a real solid look at the buys and the matchups. I guess if we're going to do it, we might as well look at the last one as well, right? So view league, results and fixtures, 4 round 16. Who do I play in round 16? Jason, one of the top teams. And who's out in this round? Who's out in round 16? So we've got, I know we've got Brisbane, we've got Essendon, we've got GWS, and we've got Geelong. So GWS, Brisbane, he's got Neil out. Geelong, you'll have Holmes out. Who else do we say? GWS, McRae probably won't be there. These two might not be there at that time. He's got Bailey Smith, but so do I. Yeah, so this one looks more like a fair fight. He'll have 1, 2, 3 if he's still there, which he probably won't be. 3, 4. So that's, but he's going to have a good team, so, you know. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, crew. It's an interesting few weeks ahead, and these injuries just came at the worst possible time. We're begging for rookies, and instead we get injuries. It's not what we asked for, Supercoach gods. We didn't ask for injuries, we asked for rookies. You misheard us. What do you reckon, crew? What else can we have a look at? So that's doing okay. We can have a look at the league. We can actually have a look at the league and see how we're going. This week, I think we got a reasonably easy matchup this week. So I said we don't really need to trade at all. We could potentially hold McRae and still we would, you know, suffer on the overall score, but it looks like we would pretty much win here easy. As you can see, can you see? Yeah, you can see. So he's got Callahan, Horne-Francis, McRae. He's got the 3. He's got the big trifecta 3. He'd have to boost to get them all off the field. You'd have to boost to get rid of all of them. So I'm figuring this week should, touch wood, without any disasters, be a fairly easy win. Can we go? We can't. So you can't go ahead this way. You have to go ahead the other way that I showed you through fixtures if you want to see your future matches. Don't really care about this one, even though this person seems to... I got beat this week by a bloody big score too, and it looks like this guy's going to get another bloody big score up against another big score this week. This is supposed to be the easy league, this one. 2 weeks where there's like this. My 2,400 and whatever score was beaten by about 20 points in this league, while another guy had 2,400. How are the other predictions going? So we're still in 4th. So if we win this week, we move up to the same number as these 2 guys if they don't win, or still a step behind. There's 2 of us now clear of 6th place. Percentage is, well, in 4th place out of the top 4, so it's about where it should be. Overall score though, we're going points scored. I'm coming 2nd, just by about 47 points. Just by about 47 points. Okay, what do we reckon? Any other dramas? I don't think there are any other changes I can do. Rao, Bolton, Ashcroft for McRae. So we have one more play around. Let's have one more play around with it before we get off and see if anybody actually rolls up and says g'day or not. There's a few people out there watching and I really appreciate it. If you'd like to hit the subscribe and the subscribe and leave me a comment, like, you lucky bastard Seano, you haven't got all the injuries I've got, I will take it. So let's go back. I mean, we're not going to boost. We could boost. I don't like any of the downgrades. If we have a quick look at the downgrades, I mean, oh my god, they're pathetic. They really are. Except for Cooper Simpson. Cooper Simpson, you don't have him, go and buy him. Filters will say less than 3 matches. You don't have Cooper Simpson, you go and get him. And I think it doesn't really matter whether you have injuries or not. You still need him. You still need him. Get some non-playing rookie off the field or whatever and go for it. Could you do some type of, maybe your flex position is free and you can get, from him to McRae to him, have him in flex, bank some money for a couple of weeks, after the Port buys. But I don't like getting him, considering he is on that buy in 2 weeks and you don't know what's going to sweep. I'm not going there. It could really pay off if people do go there, but I'm not going there. So here's a big tick. Here's it's a worry. It's not a tick, it's more like a big question mark. Jed Buse, I think, again, has a big question mark on his job security. If he plays for a few weeks, he might make some money, but at that elevated price, so I don't want any more dead rookies on my bench. Thomas Sims, now, we did go right into trading in my trade video, so check that one out if you like. We went through everyone in the community. We went through the downgrades and the upgrades. Here's a guy I missed, Thomas Sims, but his scoring is terrible. And God knows how long he'll be in there for. So 48 and a 45. He's playing a key forward/ruck role, giving out the big nank the tank, a bit of a chop out. So, I mean, again, likelihood of him staying in the team. Lynch is out of the team at the moment. So if Lynch comes back, does he go out? Maybe he's got some Richmond supporters out there, can let us know. Again, I'm really worried about his job security, so I don't want to go there. Archday Wicks, this is the guy who I thought I was going to have to get, who I hated. I mean, he's only 99k, yes, but, at 33 and 37, he's going to be a slow burn even at 99k. The only reason I was getting him is because he was the cheapest, and if he turned out to be a dead rook, at least he had the midfield forward DPP. Don't forget, crew, DPP end of next round, end of round 11, we'll get the new DPP players. So maybe that's another reason not to go the 2 trades this week. Maybe there's going to be someone who's DPP who I'm not thinking about, who I'm going to really want, and then I'll regret getting a Bolton for him, or I'll regret getting Rao. I can't think of anyone. Has anyone got any new, besides Connor Rosie, who's going to get defensive status, and I think we all want that. Well, except for me, it kind of sold him out at the beginning, but I think most of us I don't mind that. Who else? Is there anybody else that you guys are thinking of that you reckon's going to get DPP? I mean, Merritt's played a few rounds a bit forward, but I don't think it's anywhere near enough to get him DPP. Zach Merritt, God, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Imagine him in your forward lines. You'd be pretty damn happy about that. Yeah, so I just don't like the big box. If the box was named on the field and not as a sub, which I think is very unlikely, and even if he is named on the field, and there's a good chance he'll be the one subbed off after not playing last week and only playing 49% of time the week before. So there's not much to choose from. There's this guy, Delana, Josiah Delana. Is that how we're going to say it? Is that how we're going to butcher his name? A 26 and a 37. What the fuck is it with the rookies this week, crew? Is it impossible for a rookie to score more than 40? Mateus Philippou, I would not be going there, but I can understand if some people are going like, maybe that's your avenue. Maybe you're going McRae down to Philippou and then somebody up to somebody. Like, he played a little bit more in the midfield this week, but I mean, he didn't get a good score though. He didn't get a good score. I'd want to see him. He's got to be in the mid. Oh, if McRae's out, maybe he goes straight in the midfield. Oh, this could be interesting. Is this the week he goes up? Oh, maybe this is a play, crew. Maybe this is a play. Maybe instead of doing the risk of Bolton, you go here. He's going to make some money. You're thinking, if you do it this way, you're planning on making a trade. You're not planning on keeping Philippou. But maybe with McRae out, maybe he gets to be the main man for a few weeks. Maybe he gets to be the main man in the midfield. Maybe Boxall comes on with McRae out. Maybe Boxall comes in and plays midfield. I mean, interesting. Let's have a look. So, what happens if we did that? So there's nobody else there I think you want to be downgrading to. Like, I hate most of these downgrades myself, except for Cooper Simpson. I'm on the Soupson chain. I'm on the Soupson chain. I'm on the Simpson chain. I've been there since last week. So as long as he's named, if he's not named, we'll have a little cry and then move on. Or more than likely, he'll be named and he'll play, but he'll get subbed off to half-time. That's kind of standard for our rookies. That even when we go early, we still get screwed. It's kind of been the way lately, right, crew? So let's undo the changes. Confirm. So what if we do that? So instead of having Bolton and Rao, trade with the thoughts of me 210k now. So if we go down to Philippou and we just pray that for some reason that he takes over that midfield role filled up by left open by McRae, then who can we afford? If you don't have ranking, McLovin. Love your name, McLovin. What a great movie. What a great Superbad. One of my favourite, funniest movies ever. And I love the McLovin character. Rankinen's by far the best if you don't have him. I mean, obviously Smith as well. You assume a lot of people don't have him, but if you don't have him and you're I would say 100. He's your safest. Like, here I am talking about maybe getting Philippou in, and if I had the option of someone like a Rankine, I definitely would. I'd definitely be thinking that he is the best option by far. How much have you got any other issues, McLovin? Do you got the horny man, Horn Francis, or you got Finn Callahan? I was a bit lucky that I actually have already traded them both out. I thought I was unlucky when they started killing it, but now I'm starting to think maybe I wasn't as unlucky as I thought I was. you have Callaghan and McRae. Are you thinking about trading both? Because Callaghan seems to be going to be out longer. I would say Callaghan is more of a priority to get out, because if you look here, Finn Callaghan's shoulder, 4 to 6 weeks. So if it goes to the 6 week side of things, that's a bit rough, as opposed to well, the other thing is, do you know anybody, McLovin, has ever had a lung, like a punctured lung? Can you come back from a punctured lung and run around in the midfield the whole game? Is that Jack McRae's 2 to 3 weeks? So I'd be getting rid of Finn before I got rid of McRae. Plus McRae also is the second highest scoring forward in the entire league. So if you're going to keep someone out of those two, you definitely want to be keeping McRae. In my opinion, anyway. He's out for potentially less time, and he's a potential keeper. We don't really know if Finn Callaghan is a keeper, even though he's been doing very well lately, and I'm sure you've been very happy. I hope you've had him since the start. I had him at the start and sold him off. So I'm definitely thinking that Callaghan is probably going to be, it says he's going to be out for longer, and he might not be a keeper, and he, and I just think that, as McRae's already outscored Callaghan for a ceiling. Oh, yeah, that sounds all right, McLovin. Can't even say it right. You're thinking of McRae to Simpson and Callaghan to Rankining, and you'll have 500k left over. Woohoo! You'll get Dacos for Ashcroft. Dacos is going to be really cheap. I paid $580 for him, and he's probably going to be about, $530, $540, you would think. Dacos for Ashcroft next week. For Ashcroft, you'll get out Levi Ashcroft in Dacos. I'm with you. And then you're going to get both Bont and Butters after round 12. That sounds like a plan. It sounds like a plan, yes. For this week, you are getting rid of 2 primos and getting in 1 primo and a rookie. So your team's going to be not quite as good this week, but you do have that plan there. Next week, you'll get that. Not only will you get that gun back, so your team, you'll be to the same spot that you were this week or last week, but then you've got Bont and Butters the week after. I think that sounds like an awesome plan, mate. I definitely give my approval of that plan. Simpson is by far the best rookie, as long as he is named. Every time we say that, some disaster happens, but hopefully that's fine. But we talked about, I'm going to see what I can get here. If I go down to Philippou, which I don't recommend, if I wish 380, you might lose 30-40 points this week and then even out next week. Yeah, I think that's a great rank. Congratulations on that. I'm pretty happy with my rank, but 380, that's awesome. How many points, how many points are you behind first place? Are you in striking distance? Are you within 400 points or something at first place? I know I'm 950 points away, so I'm too far, but I'd say if you're under 400 or 500 points, you can still win this. I think, and if you get Bont and Butters in the team, when most other people, I could probably only afford 1. That's why I'm thinking that the same kind of thing, that if I go down, then I'll have money for those boys. But yeah, you could definitely start getting the money back, because I think a lot of us, like me, I'm probably going to have to choose one. I'm probably going to have to go Butters if he comes down, and then I'll probably have to wait a couple of weeks to Bont. So you could definitely make up those points, and since you're playing for overall ranking, obviously 650 off first, it's getting up there, isn't it? You'd want a couple of good captain choices, but you never know. This round could be, these next couple of rounds and across the buys are where we're really going to find out who the men versus the boys are. I think when you come out of the buys, you're really going to have a good idea. If you've done this awesome maneuver, which I like, and you come out and you're 200 away or 250 away from from first, you can definitely make a run at it, you know, in those last few weeks. A lot of the people in the top 5 to 10% are going to have these characters, going to have these players that are out. So I think you're not only going to be the one. There's going to be probably a lot of people out there that still have the Horny Man. You could scratch Simpson and get Bolton and Bont this week. I like that idea, but I really think with cash gen, if all your rookies are playing, except for maybe one, like a Boyd or something, I could probably get behind that. But if you've got a whole lot of dead rookies or something, or, you know, I really think Simpson, if named, is almost a must-have, even though it would be a move, you know. If Simpson wasn't named, I'd go for it, pretty much, in my brain. So Bolton and Bond, does that... He's an 80 to 85 guy. They keep making him the fucking sub though, don't they, St Kilda? You know? They keep making him the sub. But this is the other thing I was thinking. McRae's out. Who plays midfield? Well, Travalia's... he's more of a backman, right? Backman that runs through the mid a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Boxall got a call up. And that's why if I went Philippou, how much money does that give me? It gives me 200k. This is not enough for... Is this enough for me to get Rao? See, I'm going the value. I'm not in the same position as you are. I'm thinking I need a bit of value. I would love to be able to making plans like you. Oh, look at that. The one thing for me, I like Bolton. I recommended Bolton to people last week, but he's going to be up and down, and that I just looked at my buys, and unlike you, I'm not shooting for first. I would like to increase my overall numbers, my overall rank, but I really want to win my league, and I noticed that the guy in round 13 has a lot less players he doesn't have Sinclair, he doesn't have Marshall, so he will have, I think he's got 1 or 2 and I've got like 4 out. So for me it makes a bit of a difference, but I still might go there because I still figure I might lose anyway. It doesn't help me getting Philippou for that round either, but this way I could get Rao off a Cleary, you know. So the question is, do I think Philippou is going to make money at 56? After losing to West Coast. As a West Coast supporter, McLovin, yeah, I can see why. Yeah, I have a friend who's a Saints supporter at my work, and for all day, I only see him once a week, and all day I was going like, you guys are going to win for sure. I'm going to put this reverse psychology on you. You guys have got a shoe in. You're going to win, not a problem. And I haven't seen him yet, but when I see him, he's not going to be happy with me. Yeah, it's good for us. The Eagles, fuck, at least we got a win, right? I really didn't think we were going to get a win for the whole season, to be honest. And poor Sainters. Do we like this? Do we like this? Rowell and Philippou for McRae and Cleary, or do we like Rowell and Bolton for McRae and Levi Ashcroft? The problem is, I think Bolton has potentially to be a Keepo Primo. I think Philippou is 100% going to be a trade out in a few weeks. But then maybe he's a trade out to when Horn Francis comes back for me, because I pretty much have my, you know, I've only got this spot to fill. Which we can always put Marriage down there as well, right? Rowell is a good one. He's cheap. McLovin, he's cheap. And I think we've seen what he can do. And it's a bit of a risk for me. If I was in a position like you, where I was higher up the ranks, I wouldn't be taking it. I think it's a little bit risky. But I took a risk on Marshall, right, at 470. And look what that's paid off for me. He smashed me 110 and 170 this week. If I take a risk on Rowell and he gets this type of scores for the next 3 or 4 weeks, that could really help me too. The question is, do I want Bolton in the team as well? Am I happy to not have Ashcroft here and be fielding like a Hewitt? I mean, we think Hewitt has the potential to go to get scores. Yeah, I still like Anderson too, McLovin. I think he's a good pick, but I think you're probably right. Could go to either of them, I think. But Rowell is that big contested possession beast. If he only gets 25 possessions and 15 of them are contested, he still gets a reasonable score. Unfortunately, he butchers the ball a little bit, but I guess that's because he's probably always in and under, right in there in the guts, you know. If you're handballing it out after getting it off the ground, you're probably going to screw it up a few times. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Thanks for having a bit of a chat with me, Matt Lovin, too. I really enjoy having a chat with the people out there in the community. And congratulations again on your 380 rank. That's really good. I think if you know what, I kind of like your first plan better. Get Simpson, get that money, get a bit more cash gen, maybe get a dead rook off the field. I don't know, you didn't say how many you've got, you just said you had Travalia, but I think you hold him, hope he comes back. At least he's got DPP, which is going to help you out as well. For me, before we heard about McRae, I was going to get Huswaite off for Wicks, and I decided, well, now I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. Philippou, if only Philippou had played in the midfield and if this was an 80 last week, I would have been much happier. Let's have a look what DFS says. Did he play much? How many CBAs did he get? I don't mind the Rowell. I've had Rowell the last 2 years though as well, McLovin, and both years he's kind of screwed me over, which hasn't been much fun. So I've been very dubious about getting him, but he's so cheap. Who are we looking at here? Philippou, St Kilda. Where are you, the poo? Rank 389. We'll have a look. So last week he played against Dusks 22% CBAs. Still scored less than what he did the week before. The week before though he got 2 goals, 1. So he got no goals and he still got a 50. So, but he had no CBAs the week before. You're gone. You seen the number ones team's called Gone Fishing? What's it with all these Gone names? The fact he's got 22% CBAs is a little bit better than and he played time on ground 59%, only 59% time on ground. The week before he played 70%, 20%. That's interesting, right? So the first week he comes back, he plays 70% time on ground. The second week he's back, he plays 59% time on ground. I mean, how much money in the bank does it leave me if we confirm it? This leaves me nothing. And he's a playing rookie off the field. I mean, he's a playing rookie, but I think Ashcroft has got a lot more value than Cleary, to be honest. I think Cleary's going to have he's got a 62. It's still very doable. I mean, it's more doable than Hewitt, but Hewitt is just more convenient. Yeah, I'm not too sure. We'll confirm it for the second, but I don't know if I love it. In theory, that gives me more money. All right, let's have a look and see if we can find your team. Ranking 389. Happy to do this for anybody else too. If you're on there and you want me to check out your team and tell me what you think. Obviously, McLovin's going a bit better than I am at the moment. So maybe he should be giving me the advice. But where'd you say? You thought you were at 389? 389. Gorn's Rehab. Gorn's Rehab Clinic. Team name is Your Gorn. I think I've heard about you on other streams. Filter. Let's oh, we can't just filter by name. Oh, okay. $3.95. Could I go Ashcroft over Cleary and Bolton over Philippou? I can, and so that's my other choice. So they're the two. That's getting Bolton in the team as well, which I think is potentially a better score than, like, that way I feel like I'm getting two primos. I'm getting a primo and a rookie off and getting two primos in. When I'm getting Philippou, I kind of feel like I'm getting an expensive rookie. And $3.95. Oh, you're gone. $3.95. Here we go. Whitfield, Lockie Ash. Love the Lockie Ash pick, mate. I don't know if you had him since the beginning of the season. If you did, that's pretty sweet. Sard, we all got screwed. How the fuck does he get subbed off at halftime at 47? It's fucking ridiculous. Dale, I've also got Dale. Very nice. Clark, I really like the Clark pick. I think at this price he's really cheap. You got Ash at 500k. Sounds like a bargain to me. And he's a nice little pod, which I guess in your case you want a few pods, point of differences. You got Merritt, who's been stinking it up for you. Got Clark last week. Yeah, I like it. I like his price. I like his score. I mean, there are worlds where I could try and get Clark into my team as well instead of, but I think the money's a little bit tight for me this week. So Merritt, he'll come back. Hopefully he doesn't keep playing forward. Sheasel, hopefully he doesn't keep playing forward too. Both of these guys playing forward is a disgrace to AFL. Get them back in the midfields or in the back line. Dunkley, I like it. Callahan, so yeah, there's $5.39 though. You know, as he's made money for you. I sold him before he made any money, but you know, he's been going really good. What did he start this? Made 100k for you. Almost 90k, 100k almost on the dot, so not bad. Sinclair, Holmes, yep. Sarah, nice big score. Hopefully he does that for you. And only the one rookie on the field. I like it. So 2 here. Here's a little bit worrying, but you know, that's what we do. You want to hope that he's not subbed, or you know, don't know if you. I guess you can always swing Sinclair back and put a Hall or Travalia or someone on the field. You got Callahan at 4.15, very nice. So you made a few good moves and you haven't sold them like I did. You haven't, you know, panicked and sold them. How many trades you got left in the bank, McLovin? So I really like your midfield. You only got the one rookie. You got Gorn and Sherry, which I think, and Marshall, the same as me. Trav on Facade, yeah, seems reasonable. I mean, hopefully Clay also. You do have a few. You got a non-playing, a non-playing, a non-playing, a non-playing. When's he come back? So yeah, your bench does look a bit rough, but that sometimes when you're going for that top position, that's going to happen. So you know, you're just going to have to. So with looking at your bench, the Simpson, I think getting the Simpson and looking towards Bont and Butters in the future is the best way to go. I mean, you're going to be able to make some money potentially. I mean, depending on who you go, you might be able to go, you know. 17 trades. I've got before this round 17, probably 17 after this round. And so, yep, no Jason Horne-Francis. Down into, and you got Marshall there. Nice not having JF, not JHF. Not nice not having him for a change for once. I really like your team, buddy. I really like your team. You're doing very well. Keep it up. So with that manoeuvre, let me go back to the manoeuvre. Your manoeuvres. Yeah, again, McRae to Simpson. So then you've still got a choice of getting Cleary or Simpson to play here. Which is fair enough. And then Callahan to Rank. Swap him forward into there, I'd assume, or keep him in there. So you got Rankinine here, you got Simpson here, and then the week after you want, or 2 weeks after, you got Bont and Butters. You got, I assume, Holmes goes, or Sinclair goes back here, and so Sinclair and Holmes both go back there, and you got Bont and Butters there. Then you got a very formidable team. Yes, I think you'll have a very formidable team. Get your McRae back in. And I think a lot of us will probably... I mean, he is still the second highest scoring forward at the moment. So unless there's some magical DPP, which happens at the end of this week, midfielder that's going to turn out into the forward line, who's going to be better than McRae, which I can't really think of. Yeah, quite possibly. Dacos. Oh, and then you said Dacos as well, right? So you're pretty much, your midfield will be maxed out. Bond, Butters and Dacos, with Sinclair and Holmes back there. Reed and Lindsay. A Bond, Reed. Oh, Reed, yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. Looks like a nice plan. You'll have your team at full primo at what, round 13 then? That'll end of round 12, beginning around 13. And I think you'll be ahead of most people, buddy, if you do that. And I think you will, hence touch wood, no more injuries or any other disasters. You'll definitely start catching people. As long as Bont and Butters perform and you get, you know, the merits of the world start pulling their fingers out, I think you'll have Rank down here. Yeah, I think you'll have a very formidable team coming out of the buys, and for those last few weeks of the buys, you might be able to catch some points on number one team if he doesn't manage to get a full team before you, or he's missing the Bont and the Butters and they're kicking some bum, which we know they can. Yeah, I think that's some really nice work there, buddy. I think that is some really nice work. I like it very much. I definitely like the position you're in a little bit better than mine, with your midfield running it deeper. I definitely like it. Let's have a look at number one. Let's see if he's going to have too many dramas over the next week. But yeah, do like your team, mate. Keep up the good work. Make sure you touch base. Usually I do a trade video, I do a review video, and then I'll jump on live at least one day a week and see who's out there to chat. So if you see me on, make sure you jump on in a week or two and let me know how you're going. So let's see, is he got any disasters here? He has Finn Callahan, he has Jason Horne-Francis, he has McRae, he doesn't have TDK. He's got the three big dudes at the moment, just like you and me. So he's in one more trade. He has to trade once more than you. Can't get it this week. Like, this is the problem for teams like his this week, right? They want Simpson. If you look at his bench. He's got a non-playing here. He's got a non-playing. He's got a sub every week. He's got a non-playing. Sandy Brock may play for a week or two more, but he may not. There was, I think, they did speak about potentially the real McLovin not playing a little bit more. Jeremy McGovern concussion protocols. unavailable as he works through. How the Eagles handle the Crows, 3 tall forwards is interesting, with Star McGovern unavailable. So it says he's not going to play. So it looks like Sandy Brock gets another run, which is good for his team, make him a bit of extra money. But yeah, he's in that tricky situation where he's got. I wouldn't be surprised if he traded out TDK. I don't think he had TDK, or maybe he had TDK down the bottom here. Sarah to Brayshaw, I'd definitely wait on that. That's your luxury trade. You want to make sure that there's no injuries. I wouldn't be doing it in round 13. I'd be doing it once you've got that team at full primo. Then I'd be having, then if you see a luxury trade that you really want, maybe it's the way to go. But I wouldn't be doing it in after round 13. You definitely want your team at full primo before you can do that. I mean, Sarah just proved he can come out and smash a big score. He hasn't been in the same form as Brayshaw, but who knows? He's still been very serviceable. He's the one that, over a few regrets at the beginning of the season, not getting Sarah is one of them, and having to get Bailey Smith in was another, and selling fucking SPP was a big disaster as well. So I think teams like this, you've got a good chance of catching up to them, or at least gaining points on them over the next week or two, because you assume he's going to get Simpson. Maybe he goes Simpson for Stone or something like that, and then upgrades or gets McRae out as well. Doesn't say. It'd be nice to know how much money they have, but I guess we can't know everything about other people's teams. So that's interesting. I think you got a good chance. First year playing, well done, mate. Very well done. First year that's excellent. Usually, I think the top 10%. I've been playing since I can remember, since it first came out, and I usually think top 10% is really good. Yeah, it's starting Gorn and Sherry. I wish I had done that. I started Gorn, which last year, when I played last year, Gorn murdered me every single week. He had so many early games and so many people vice-captain him, and he got like 150 plus like every week. And so that's the reason I got Gorn this year. I was like, there's no effing way I'm going to not go in with Gorn after what he did to me last year. And Sherry, though, reminded me of the year before. English was the top topic, priced ruck. And I got him in at the top price, and he came out and he was shit and lost a shitload of money, and we all had to trade him out into Sherry. So I was worried that Sherry might not back up his season, which I was completely wrong, and he's come out and smashed it. So that does help. And one of the reasons I got Sherry in last week for TDK, which even before he was injured was my plan. It's a guaranteed vice captain pick every week. I won't be even thinking about it. I won't be into going on who the matchup is and all this shit. I'm just locking in vice captain and captain, whoever plays first and second, as long as I can get somebody else on the field to take the score. If I can't, I might have to go someone in earlier games. But this week, I'm pretty sure Boyd comes on again, just like last week, with this exact. Is this correct? With this exact matchup, we have Saints play the second last game. Melbourne play Sunday morning, and North Melbourne play Saturday. Yeah, so that's easy. But yeah, that's a pretty good pick starting off those two, and that's a really good score being your first year. And the thing, like I said, you should probably be telling me, but the thing I always tell new players is don't play Supercoach with your heart. I mean, we all love the game and we want to play, but we want the team, we want the players that we really want. But at the beginning of the year, you really want to do that guns and rookies, which we didn't do. I certainly didn't do. We had bloody Short and Perryman, and we had mid prices all over the fucking place, and that hurt us a lot this year. And the same, yeah. So I think you're doing extremely well for your first season, and I think if you stick with your plan, you don't get any injuries or anything. I think both of those plans are good, but I do like the one where you've got Bont and Butters in your team, because I think like I said, I think people like me, I'm aiming to get Butters in the end of round 12 if I can, which is going to depend on, like, you've already got the money if you do your plan. My plan depends on rookies just happen to appear the next 2 weeks, which I can get. If there are no rookies in the next 2 weeks, there'll be no Butters for sure. No, that's just the way. It's the way it happens, right? That's just the way it is, and there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah. How's your buys looking, McLovin? Have you had a look at your buys, and you're going to have no rounds where every round you're going to be able to get, you probably want not, even though owning 18 count, you probably want a couple of scores to drop off. You probably want about 20 each round. I guess if you're planning, your Bont and your Butters are going to help a lot coming out of that. What do you reckon? I think that might be close to calling it quits for the night. It was good, really good chatting with you, McLovin. And round 14, you have no one. That's why you want Dacos. Round 14, you have no one. Don't have Warner. Yeah, I've only got the one. So that's a good round. Roberts. Ashcroft and stuff goes, yeah. So are the same. I'm a bit worried. I don't know if you were watching before when I was talking about my buys. I don't have many people out of my buys, but my matchups, because unlike you, I've kind of given up on first place. I'd still like to try and push for top 1,000, but I really want to win my league. But my matchups are shit during the buys. Like, my team's good. There's no time when I have, like, every round, if a rookie or two play, I'm going to have at least 20 people on the field, but they've got less primos out than I have, so it gives me the shits. But you shouldn't worry too much about that. You're pushing for first place and 50k, and then when you'll really know, like, the buys really make a huge difference. Like, yes, it's only 18 people play, but when you come out of those buys, that's when you're really going to know where you are. If you're, like I said, if you're like 250, or I think if you're under 400 away from first and you come out of the buys, you got a chance. Yeah, I think JFK is not the JFK. I don't know about JFK, but we'll try Horn Francis. He was looking like a must-have, but I think not having to get him now might be a good thing. Like, if I'm choosing between Bont and Butters, if I have a choice out of JHF, Butters, or say Rosie, I think he comes last. I think he's third out of those three that I want. And then if you chuck Bont in there, well, he comes fourth out of all of those players. So I don't think him going down, if you didn't already have him, if anything, that's an advantage to you, I would say, if you don't got him. And then you can make up your mind who's going to be the best. By the time, like we said, there might be some miracle DPP person that turns up at the end of round 11, a new DPP forward mid swing or something. If anything, I don't think it hurts Butters at all. The only thing is maybe they try and tag Butters a little bit more, and who knows. The one interesting thing will be too, what happens if they move Rosie back into the midfield? What do people do then? It's a valid option, right? Horn Francis out for 4 weeks. It's got to be replaced by someone. Do they chuck a young kid like the Moraes kid in there, or do they get Horn Francis? Do they get Rosie and bring him into the midfield? Could be interesting. But yeah, at the moment, I think I'd almost take Butters over Bont at the moment, just because he's full in the midfield and going crazy. That's almost a blasphemy to say that, but I think they're both awesome, let's face it. But if you had to tell me, Sean, you can only have one right now, it'd be tough. it'd be tough. I think on current form, I'd probably choose Butters, but if my heart goes Bont, and my heart wants to pick Bont, but my brain wants to pick Butters. I don't know. I think you can't go wrong with either of them. Basically, they're going to be a lot more consistent, even though than a lot of these dudes. Even though we just saw Butters drop a bit of a stinker. What did he drop? What did he drop? He dropped a 53. That's a pretty big fucking drop. That's a pretty big drop. I don't think we've seen Bont drop a score like that. But look how consistent he is in here, like 31, 35, 164, 160, 100. All right. Let's have a look. Is Bont just going to show him up? All right, you're not going to let me look at it like that. Buttons, I wrote. Don't have any players called Buttons. Bont will score 190, 210 sort of game eventually. He will. That's the thing. His ceiling is massive. 200 games, very, very possible. I think 159 one. So overall, same. His floor is a lot higher too. He doesn't need to score goals, but if he does score those goals, yeah, you're right. If I looked at both of those scores, I'd probably, just because of the 53, and I don't think you tag Bont, though. You got so many of those midfielders running around in Brisbane. You can tag Ed Richards. You can try, and I don't know if you're going to tag Liver because he's pretty much in there tackling and under the ball. But maybe you could tag Treloar. I think Bontempelli's probably harder to tag. The big boy, he just does exactly that. He goes forward and kicks 4 goals on you, right? Hey, go and tag Bont, and next thing he's banging in goals left, right, and centre. Then they got to change their plan. Is he going to go down? If he gets 132, he'll go down 10k. So he'll be at 650. So yes, he does look dangerous. I think after looking at that, I changed my mind and I'd go back to Bont. I'd go to Bont. I'm like, bugger it, I'll just pick Bont. The only problem is, he looks like the lowest he's going to get is going to be 650. Butters is going to get down to about 600 or maybe 580. So that could be the decision. To a lot of people like me, we're just going to have to go for the cheaper one. But if you can get both, I think that's a big advantage. And if they both kick off and don't get injured or anything like that, I think that's going to be, people in your position, I think, really need to be looking to make moves like that to get ahead of the pack. If you've got, people in like me who's sitting here, we're still having Sinclairs and Sheasels or whatever in the team, or whether if I've got the Rao, if I do the Rao thing and get Rao, which I probably will, you're going to be like smashing out. My Rao's going to have a good game and get 125, and Bond's going to have a good game and get 175. And so, instead of me catching people like you're going to be pulling away from us. But I don't think we'll go much longer, buddy. Really good chatting with you. Congratulations on your first year, mate. Really impressive. Continue, keep it up. Hopefully go, do really well. Like I was going to say before, like in your years to come, really, the beginning of the season, past winners have always talked about value, and I think I like to pay up for the good players. But I think next year, maybe even one, besides the 2 rucks, I'm guaranteed going the 2 big rucks next year. I'm not fucking around with the rucks next year, especially with the flex position. But I'm already making plans for next year. It's going to be rookies, and maybe only, one 600k in like these 2, and then one 600k or one 600k here, and then nobody more than 550. That's a nice plan. Hey Charlie, thank you for saying g'day, mate. I really appreciate you dropping by. And anybody else who's watched today, I really appreciate you guys being here. And I've had a nice evening. I don't know if I'm any more decided on what trades I'm going to do. I hope you guys are. Yeah, good chat. Yeah, thanks you too, McLovin. And like I said, definitely if you see me on in a couple of weeks' time, drop by, and I'd love to know how your team's going. I'm going to try and keep an eye on you. I'm going to try and remember your name. gone something. What was it? Let me have a look back here. I'll write it down because I got old man. You're gone. Like, remember, like cricket, you're gone. I'm gonna have to write it down because I have old man memory. But I'll definitely keep an eye and see how you're going. Yeah, and if you're around, drop in and say good day. So a big thanks for everyone. Your team looks great. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks. How's your season going, buddy? Where you placed at before I go? I don't mind my team. Like, we talked about your plans, McLovin. These are my plans, right? So say we do this trade this week. Say we do this trade here. We go trade, and we go trade, and we go trade, and we go trade. Say this is my trade this week. And Charlie, this is, I don't know if you were here before, this is the trade that I was thinking about. So it leaves me with the 2 rookies here. We're a little bit scared after him being the sub last week, but you know, you still could do okay. So in theory, I've got, and let's say we move Chad Warner down here. In theory, the forward line's done. Marshall is sitting there nicely, scoring big. So he's sitting midfield. Ruck is done. And defensive wise, well, I'm thinking we're selling Trainer and we're moving either Sinclair or Sheasel or any one of these 3 or 2. One of these, at least 1 or 2 of these guys go back. Say 1 goes back. We get rid of, even if we do it now, say my back line looks like that. It's not complete. I'm not thinking it's complete. I'm thinking that a sneaky little, 100k on top of Zach Reed gets me Rosie in this position. And then really, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I'm happy to stay there for the moment, with 3 dudes I have to get off the field. 2,440 is a good score. I think that's more than what I scored last week, just by a little bit. Very close. 2,428. That's a very good score. Top 1%. Top 1% out of everybody. So yeah, that's a really good score. I think 13,500 is still not bad. That's still a reasonable year. I've had years where are a lot worse than that. I'll give you that much. I'm very happy to be where I am at. Where are we at? At 2,360 with my aim to potentially get in the top 1,000. I'm very happy with that. And like I said, I think there's 191,000 people play. If you're in the top 10%, if you're in the top 19,000, that's pretty good. I call that a pass mark every year. If I finished outside of that, I'm not super happy. If I finish inside of that, I'm like, okay, it was an okay season. Not a great season, but an okay season. Anywhere around the top couple of thousand is a really good season, considering you're beating out like 189 other thousand people. So I wouldn't be too worried about 13,500. It sounds like you're having a reasonable season. Just a few zigs and zags here and there probably hurt you. But like I said, so my plans is to have potentially another gun here. We're going to have to live with Roberts, I think, for the moment. And then we want 2 guns and a rookie. The fact that we have the flex means, I think, for teams like mine, where I'm probably a gun short of everybody else, a primo short of most of the other good players, you can have a rookie on the field. So we could have whatever rookie on the field, because the score doesn't count if he gets a real stinker. So, whoever it is, we probably end up having like a Simpson on the field or something up here, and some anyway. So I was hoping pretty much I need to get 3 more premiums. Minimum 2 more premiums, but 3 more premiums to be really happy. But then the team's not going to look great. Do I think Sard will get dropped? Oh God, they subbed him out at halftime. At subbed, you could definitely get subbed. I mean, he was having an okay game, and he certainly wasn't the worst Essendon player on the field, and he got subbed out for God knows why. So if he gets a full game, he can do really well, but I am definitely worried. I won't be playing him on the field, that's for sure. I won't be running this setup. Obviously, this setup for me will be something. I'm more happy to have Trainer on the field, to be honest, just because I think I don't know, they're both real big. I don't know why Trainer was subbed. I have no idea, and I have no idea why Sard was either. I don't think Essendon have anybody coming back, so I don't think he gets dropped, does he? I mean, surely not. He wasn't. The team got absolutely snot beaten out of them. Ridley's out, so for 7 weeks you don't have to worry about it. Darcy Parish is also on track for comeback, like the VFL level, so he's not coming back into the team. So there's nobody there really look like come back. I think he holds his position. I don't think he gets dropped, but I think he could get subbed. I'd be trying not to have him on the field. Jade Gresham will be back. He's coming straight back into the team, and he's going to play he usually plays, that kind of midfield forward role, doesn't he? But the other thing, sometimes I like to do this too. I like to look at who was named last week. So team lineups for round 10 last week for Essendon. Is it just me, or does anybody else hate this fucking new lineup, new thing? Like this, just do it the old way. Just do it the old way. It was much easier to read. Now they reckon it looks pretty, but it's shit. So if Gresham comes back in, Archday Wicks could go out, Archie Perkins could go out, Caldwell's not going out, Jai Caldwell's not going out. So he's 100% locked in, I would say. Dylan was the sub. Does Dylan Shield, I mean, really? Is he is he not in your best team? Is he not in your best team? Really, is he sub? Is he injured or something? I'm not too sure. But yeah, Archday Wicks, by the way, was named up here before the game started, just before the game started, and they moved him down here, which always gives me a heart attack. So sub, definitely a chance. Dropped, maybe, but probably not. Again, it's one of those things. Keep an eye out for team sheets. They've got an early game, right? So their game is on Friday. So it's kind of... Actually, the earlier games are actually quite good. Geelong and Western Bulldogs on Thursday, and then Essendon and Richmond. So unless you're really looking at a Geelong or Western Bulldogs player, or getting one of those guys off, I kind of like not to do my trades. I have my trade plan, and I might even do them if I'm busy, like if I'm going to be at work or something. But then I make sure I set an alarm for 15 minutes or half an hour before the match, and I look at the subs. Yeah, this was a question that I had too. Only have one boost left. Yeah, I've only got one boost left too, and before I found out the McRae news, I was considering potentially using it. But I mean, they're there to use, but it's nice to have one. Like, I'm thinking myself, a sneaky little plan might be at the end of round 12, beginning like before round 13, dropping a boost then, 2 up, 2 down. If there's rookies available, that's going to be the big, unlike our friend McLovin here, who is thinking about getting a little bit of a cash bank. I don't have a cash bank. After this trade, I'll have 18,000. So I'm going to have to make money somewhere. It depends on who you're dropping him for. I think, Charlie, this week, if Cooper Simpson is named, you must have him in you must get him. Surely me telling everybody you must get them's probably going to blow up in their face, but he's the only really good rookie this week. So if you told me you were trading Husway to get Simpson to make some money and to have a playing rookie, I would say that's reasonable. I was going to do Husway to Wicks just to get a playing rookie, even though his score was shit. So I probably, depending on what else you're doing, but I probably, it really depends on your team, Charlie. If you are you looking to get rid of, like, you've got all these injuries? Do you have Horne-Francis, and do you have McRae, and do you have Callaghan? So you might have bigger priorities than getting Hustwaite off the field. Oh, sorry, off the team. Callaghan and JHF out for Zorko and Nick Martin. I think that's interesting. I think that's fine. You know, the two guns out for 2 guns in seems fine. Like I said, out of those, I think Callaghan is the more urgent one to get out for sure. His injury seems to be longer. Have you got Cooper Simpson? Did you go early on him? I'd be tempted to tell you that if you can get by 1 week by fielding, you know, a Simpson for a McRae or something, that maybe banking that cash till next week or after the buys could be a play as well. The only thing is, I think, were you thinking of doing a boost and then dropping Hustwaite for Simpson as well and making some more cash that way? I mean, I could potentially get behind that. If that's what you plan to do, I could potentially get behind it. With your last boost, though, I think depending on, like, you're not like you're shooting for first. I don't know if you care about your leagues as much as important. If you care about your leagues as much as I do, getting the 2 guns in might be the better way to do it. You might get a league win this week, help you get in the finals, maybe win your league. If you weren't in your leagues and you don't have Cooper Simpson, I'd highly advise just holding, get whoever you like better, get the Zorko or the Nick Martin. I think Nick Martin, if you want a pod, you go Nick Martin. Not a lot of people have him. If you just want Zorko because you think he's a good price and you think he can, you know, smash it the next few weeks, that's fine. But if it was me personally, and I didn't have Simpson, I think I'd be getting Simpson in for 1, banking it up. Oh, so you've got all 3. Yeah, you don't love Kako being. So if you went, so yeah, then then you've got to field 2 more rookies, right? So if you go, yeah, you're in the bad situation where you've got the three that are out this week, and some other people, if you include, I mean, TDK, hopefully for the people who have still got TDK comes back. But yeah, it's a tough week for you, mate, with the 3 out. A lot of people are going to be in the same situation as you. My priorities are getting rid of them. It's probably Callaghan number 1. Not sure that he's a keeper in your midfield, and he's probably, you know, he's showing he can go up and down. He's had some good form, but his injury seems to be out for the longest. Then I'd probably go Horne-Francis next because he has that bye. Even though they said, I think Horne-Francis and McRae are very close. I just go Horne-Francis next because McRae is the 2nd highest scoring midfielder. So if you want to keep the one who potentially comes back and scores more, it might be McRae. But I am very worried about McRae and how does a punctured lung or a lung injury go when you come back? Surely that doesn't just clear up in... They said back after his bye, and I think his bye is round 14 or round 13. So he'll be back in round 14 at the soonest. So 11, 12, 13, that's 4 weeks. And then is he going to be the run around all day? Really, you know, it's a lung. Surely a punctured lung, that doesn't sound like an injury that just, you know, there are certain injuries where, you know, you sprain an ankle and you have a week or 2 off and you come back and you can still play at your best or whatever. You know, maybe you injure your hand or something, or, you know, and you can come back and play at your best. Can you get a punctured lung or a lung injury and come back and play at your best? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm a Seano. I'm not a doctor. But, yeah, it's interesting. I think the other move you could possibly do, Charlie, if you're feeling, depending again whether you're shooting for overall score or league wins, or what your priority is I think you can still go one of those guys. So say the one you definitely, say the Finn Callaghan or the Horn Francis, whichever, you need to get one out of the forward line. You go one down to Simpson. Say you go the Horn Francis or the McRae down to Simpson, and then you go up to whichever one you like, and you bank the rest of the money. And then next week you just go like McRae and the other, whoever's left, you go McRae up and one other rookie up, or you hold that money for one more week and you target Bonton Butters. You know, you target the Bonton and Butters of the world. So I think they're your two options. The options you've said are fine. I think they're good, and I would be tempted to do those myself. Or I think it's still valid to just live with a rookie on the bench this week. Your score's probably not going to be, you know, you might lose 40 or 50 points out from not having a Bolton or to one of your players you picked. You know, if Zorko comes and gets a 140 and Nick Martin gets a 110 and you've got a rookie on the field that gets you 50, yes, that's going to be a little bit of a problem for you. I mean, Kako on the field gets you a 40, you're not going to be super happy about that. The one good thing is we do have the flex position, so you always take into account one of your rookie scores is going to, one shit score, it's not always a rookie, sometimes the premiums like to shit in your team, but if they do that, it gets dropped out. Alright, thanks Charlie, really good to see you, mate. Thank you. I think we're going to jump off as well, unless anybody else is out there and has got any questions they want to ask. I'll give you a minute or two. Really appreciate you dropping by, Charlie, and everyone for watching. Please give me that follow and subscribe and leave a comment. YouTube loves it when you comment. Really good talking to you, Charlie. Really good talking to you, McLovin. And yeah, if there's anybody else out there want to have a chat about what they're planning to do, otherwise we will jump off, and we might jump back on Thursday again for another live stream maybe. To you, thumbs up to you as well, mate. Skippy says you're awesome. Yeah, so I think doesn't seem like anyone's out there else wants to have a chat, so I think we will call it a day, and I'll see you. Can we do Skippy, the Skippy cut? What's that, Skip? Seano was crapping on about Supercoach again. We'll end up the stream this way, everyone. Everyone have a great day from both me and Skippy. We both hope your team goes very well. We hope all your players score hundreds. And when, you know, Skippy, you should see Skippy's team. She's doing very well in the top 10. Don't know what her name is, Gone Skipping, something like that. You don't get the shortened version now, you get the full version, but you have to wait for the salute, because everyone has to salute Skippy at the end, right? That's the rules. That's the rules at Seano Stream. I just have to be quick enough to put a goodbye, boys. Dodgy Australian accent, insert here. Here we go. Alright, everyone salute Skippy. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day, and please join me again either for my trade video, my trade or my review video, or if I jump on for a live stream. Hope you all have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you all soon. See ya.